Hello, everyone. We will wait a couple of more minutes before we get started. But welcome to the webinar. Let's get started. We only have 1 hour, so welcome everyone to our informational webinar about the 2024 Sustainability Research and Innovation Congress that will be organized in collaboration with the Sustainability Science Days in Helsinki and Espoo, Finland next June. I'm Veera Mitsner. I am the Associate Director of the Future Earth US Global Hub, and I'm also the Director of the Sustainability Research and Innovation Congress. I will be your moderator today. I'm joined here today by my colleagues from the SRI SSD team, who will be giving you first an overview of the event, and then they will be answering any questions you may have about the Congress. We will start with brief presentations, but we will have time at the end for a Q&A. But in case your question will not be answered, will not have time, or if there's something else that comes to mind after our event, feel free to email us at sri@futureearth.org, and we will get back to you. Now I have the pleasure to introduce Dr. Erica Key, who is the director of the Future Earth US Global Hub, and also the co-founder of the Sustainability Research and Innovation Congress SRI, and Dr. Nicole Arbour, who is the executive director of the Belmont Forum. Erica and Nicole, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Veera. Good day to everyone. And thanks for your interest in the Sustainability Research and Innovation Congress series, including this special event coming up in 2024 in partnership and collaboration with the Sustainability Science Days in Finland. So just to give you some background about the Congress and the series, it really is a global platform for co-creation of options and transformations to policy and practice. We welcome anyone who is involved in the sustainability space to join us there, from academia, from industry, from government, from civil society, and the general public. It is in the area of sustainability that we are all stakeholders and all have a role to play. We use the SRI platform as a co-design integrative space. We want interaction. I say this is not your grandmother's science conference, because this is not about one-way presentations, but sharing of ideas, lessons learned, and best practices that could help us all move forward together. So excited to be in our 4th iteration here in Finland, in Helsinki and Espoo in June of 2024. And I'd like to turn to my colleague, Nicole Arbour, and the co-convener of this series, the Belmont Forum. Nicole.
Thank you, Erica, for getting us started and for sharing some of my favorite parts of the conference, because as Erica put it very, very well, this isn't your grandmother's conference. This is really, the goal is really to bring everybody together, because by bringing together different groups from across the spectrum, we're going to have a better chance of engaging with some of the big global challenges that we're facing. And so, as Erica mentioned, we will be this year in Helsinki, Finland. This will be our first time in Europe at all, and I think in the Northern Hemisphere. I'm looking, Panama's almost there, but it's pretty close to the equator. So it's going to be a new region, as every SRI has been to date, and every SRI is different, and that's part of what the beauty of this event is. With every SRI, we grow, we change, we find new ways of engaging, and we bring together audiences from across the globe, but in slightly different ways. And so these are really valuable opportunities, and that is reflected in the thematics that are that we'll just discuss a little bit more further out. But the other thing is that, as in this fourth iteration of SRI, the conference has also been growing. And so the first event in Australia, hopefully many of you participated, was fully virtual, and it happened in a world of pandemic. And so when we then went to Pretoria the following year, we had a very different in-between pandemic and non-pandemic experience. And some of you might argue we're still not quite post-pandemic, but it's hard to say. It really depends on how we talk through this. And then, of course, last year was our first conference that, while hybrid, was largely in person. So we had over 2,000 people participating, many of those on the ground in a really, vibrant atmosphere. And so we're hoping to also see as large a number of people in person and online together with us as we go into this collaborative event with the Sustainability Science Days in Finland, on the ground in Helsinki and Espoo. It's going to be a fantastic event, and I really hope that you will be able to join us.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Erika and Nicole. Next, I have the pleasure to introduce Dr. Susanna Lehvävirta, who is the director of the Helsinki Institute, of Sustainability Science, HELSUS. So Susanna, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm not sure if you have my slide included because of technical reasons, so maybe not, but yes, you have. That's great, thank you. Fantastic. So I just wanted to show you one slide that tells you something about the history of the Sustainability Science Days, which is now merging together for the coming year for SRI. So the history goes back even further than this slide tells you. We started officially with the Sustainability Science Days in 2017, but actually there were predecessors of this event even before that. And very soon, the next year, we actually realized that we have something in common with the University of Aalto. So we kind of semi-joined forces with Aalto and have run two sister consecutive events with the University of Aalto. And then ever since then, we have really joined forces in putting together one event basically on a yearly basis, but then only due to the pandemics, we were not fast enough to jump from real life to virtual form. So there was a year that we missed with Sustainability Science Days. But it's been approximately half the size of SRI that I now hear about the size of SRI. Very international. We had all the continents involved except for Antarctica every year, basically. 48 countries some year, we calculated. It's evolving constantly. We are putting a lot of effort into developing the Sustainability Science Days. It's been quite a lot bottom-up effort, so that researchers have had a strong word in what the contents of Sustainability Science Days will be and what kind of sessions are there. Of course, now we are uniting two operations, two conferences, many minds, and we are learning from each other. We are excited to learn from each other. So those who are familiar with the Sustainability Science Days, some things might go very different this year because we are merging processes. But I hope you will still enjoy everything, and then when we continue with Sustainability Science Days after the coming year, then we will have learned a lot of good things from SRI and hopefully vice versa also. So excited to move forward. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Susanna. Next, I will be introducing Riina Koivuranta, Senior Specialist, Sustainable Development and Responsibility from University of Helsinki, and Jussi Impiö, Head of Solutions for Sustainability, Aalto University. Riina and Jussi, please.
Hey, hello. My name is Jussi Impiö. I'm head of solutions for sustainability at Aalto University. And as Susanna explained, Sustainability Science Days has been a collaborative effort of two Finnish leading universities. We are a bit different in our profile, but we very much share the same vision of the sustainable future. So we are connected not only by a metro line, but very similar kind of approach to sustainable future and sustainability. So we have complementing strengths. Aalto University is an innovation university where business and technology and art and design come together. And our university's strategic target is to shape sustainable future.
Thank you, and also good morning or good evening from my behalf. Could I have the next slide, please? And maybe one more, actually. Yeah, because as mentioned, we are really eager to collaborate together with Aalto University in co-organizing the next SRI SSD here in Helsinki and Espoo next year. And as Jussi Impiö mentioned, we are a bit different universities, but complementing in strengths. So the University of Helsinki is the oldest and largest academic institution here in Finland, and we are a multidisciplinary university with 11 faculties. Those faculties range from arts and medicine to theology and bio and environmental sciences. And I think that what has been mentioned here in many of these talks before me is that we have the same vision of getting different people, different actors together in order to solve great sustainability challenges. And the University of Helsinki has been a part of almost for 400 years, a part of the Finnish history of developing our healthcare systems or educational systems and so forth, but we have never done that alone. And we really highlight the fact that we need different actors in the table in order to really solve sustainability challenges. And our slogan goes with the power of knowledge for the world, and that really highlights the fact that we believe in creating solutions for the many, not just for the few. And we're really looking forward to seeing you here in Helsinki and Espoo next year, June. So a warm welcome on our behalf as well.
Many thanks, Riina and Jussi. SRI has traditionally had satellite events around the world, and this year, or next year, in 2024, we are very pleased to have a satellite event in South Africa. And I'm pleased to introduce the host of our South Africa or Africa satellite event, Michael Xumalo, who is the director of the African Collaborative Grants of at the National Research Foundation of South Africa, and he's also the Bellman Forum Ambassador for Africa. So, Michael, welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Vera. Greetings to everyone. The NRF and the Africa Hub are once more excited to host the next edition of the Africa Satellite event in order to ignite sustainability conversations on the continent and the rest of the Global South. I just want to confirm a few things with you so that you are, I see, sorry, I'm being asked to start the video. So I just want to confirm a few things with you. Traditionally, on the way it's set up, we take almost the same format as the main event, which will take place in Finland. But we have learned from the last event that 3 days was not enough. So we are organizing this next year's event for 4 days, which will start on the 28th to 31st of May, 2024. Our partners, so it's hosted in KwaZulu-Natal. For those who are familiar with South Africa, our partners will be University of KwaZulu-Natal and University of Zululand. So we're expecting exciting engagements coming from those two institutions, and those are around. We have learned a nice one as well from Panama, that you can actually build in site visits within your programs so that your visitors are not bored. So in the next editions, we will be partnering with South African National Biodiversity Institute to organize so that those guests who are interested in seeing some of the work related to sustainability projects can be taken to those particular areas. So in addition to your traditional parallel sessions that are aligned to the main SRI event, please come to Durban, South Africa for exciting plenaries that are Africa and Global South focused, discussion tables, and networking sessions. More information will be shared with you as we move towards the event. Thank you so much, Vera.
Thank you very much, Michael. Very exciting to have the satellite event in South Africa, and we really hope that a lot of people will join. Next, I will be inviting Erica and Nicole back to share a little bit more information about the call for contributions that's currently open for both the satellite event in Africa and the Central Congress in Finland. This is the best way of being part of the program and to shape the Congress. So Erica and Nicole, please.
Thank you, Vera. So this call for contributions helps build a very rich program for all of the SRI events this year in Finland and in South Africa. As mentioned, it is a hybrid event. That means that on the ground, you have both the opportunity to engage with people in person as well as those online. And for those who can't or don't wish to travel, you can participate fully online. But we still, regardless of whether you're in front of your computer or you're in a seat in the room, want you to interact with the different elements of the program. We encourage all different types of contributors to the program. There will be a number of funders present because of the Belmont Forum Plenary and because it entices a number of donors and philanthropies to see the spectrum of sustainability options that are available. So we're hoping for those perspectives as well as perspectives from business who address more of the innovation element and the idea market, which will be launched shortly. As well, we work with governments, civil society, and have an open day in the middle of the Congress where the entire program is available to the public, and we engage with local institutions and people to enmesh their ideas into the Congress as well. So there are really a lot of opportunities in this space, and please do keep watching sricongress.org. But for this Congress, working together with our Finnish colleagues, we have identified 4 very broad themes. The idea is for these to be umbrellas in the sustainability space. And I will take the opportunity to introduce the first 2, and I'll turn to Nicole for the next 2. So green transitions here is an exploration of the transformation of the word green from a simple color into having a lot of different connotations. What does it mean to undertake a green transition? Are you looking solely in a biodiversity space? Are you looking in urban green spaces? Are you looking at environmental justice? Are you looking at the changing behaviors and people becoming green? Are you also looking at the challenges of being labeled green and the implication that sometimes green transitions are not as green as we think they are? So it's really looking at all of the dimensions and elements of a green transition in this globe as we change our attitudes towards living in harmony with nature. The second topic on transforming technologies in the future of work is really looking at our adaptation and our use of technology to embrace sustainability. looking at scaling smart technology, financing those technological innovations and the different sort of resource spaces that we need to create to support that. Looking at the training that we're providing students today for the workforce of tomorrow, with the surge in artificial intelligence and automation and the fourth industrial revolution, how are we going to prepare them to be successful in the future workspace? As well, how can we embrace ethics in the application of artificial intelligence and machine learning, and the ethical application of data-driven technologies and the use of now open source information across much of the globe. So I think these are very rich themes, but I want to turn it to Nicole for the next two.
Thank you, Erica. And so the third theme, living on the front lines of change, the Arctic and beyond. So as we are all experiencing and have been experiencing, moving for a little while now, some of the largest changes are happening in some of the most remote regions. And so this theme really looks at what are some of the challenges and the community and collaborative approaches to adaptation and resilience in the locations that are experiencing the most dramatic changes. And this includes things like relocation and migration. There's all of the complicated relationships and the different interveners that are part of this process, thinking about coping mechanisms and health systems. We've all just recently gone through that. I know we're all probably tired of hearing about it, but also things like looking at addressing some of the uncertainties that we're facing this day and age, including what we're hearing more and more about, or maybe it's just my news feeds that are saying this, but around climate anxiety and how youth are having a hard time thinking about what the changing world means. So looking also at equitable access to information, technologies, resources for the decision-making process. And then, of course, both thinking about tangible and intangible heritage and how, in these circumstances of increasing change, are we going to be able to preserve some of the things that are most important to us in our communities. Our fourth theme, powering the world, is really looking at how are we going to meet the growing needs of the globe in terms of energy. So how are we going to be able to provide equitable access to clean and reliable energy? How do we phase out the fuels that are contributing to the greenhouse, to the climate change and mitigating those effects? Also thinking about sort of the policies that guide these changes, because those are going to be important in the broader context, but also changing our own mindsets. So we often hear in the media and in other I guess it's all media these days, that part of this is about how we think about how we live our lives. So how do we think about ways of changing not only the way we work, but the way those around us work and think, so that we are helping to contribute? What are the environmental trade-offs to the green energy transition? And what are equitable strategies to managing the global energy consumption that is not currently necessarily very equal across the globe? So there's, in and around this, there's geopolitics, there's transboundary access to different energy sources. There's quite a large amount of pieces that you can sort of pull apart. And really what we encourage people to do as they explore these themes is to basically, we're hoping that everyone will find themselves in these themes. There's quite a large number of different ways to work within the themes, but also think about when designing contributions for engagement with SRI, that we're really looking to bring people together, to start conversations. I mean, one of my favorite ways of looking at this is what is the difficult conversations that you want to start? What are the unusual friendships that you would like to cultivate? How are we going to bring our respective communities together to really think about and engage with the challenging times that we are in? And so when you're looking at the contribution types, I mean, we've tried to strategically name them differently than your typical sort of panel. So we're looking at interactive roundtables, bringing different people together to have a conversation, to really jointly brainstorm these solutions, workshops and tutorials. So trainings, what are the skill sets of tomorrow? What are we going to need? How do those fit within our themes? What are the kinds of activities that we can do to provide opportunities, not only for early career researchers, because we're all continuously learning. I don't know about you, but so those of us who are on the panel who know me know that I'm always talking about, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? I don't know. But I think we're always all trying to learn and adapt in this globally changing world. And then, of course, incredibly importantly in our landscape is thinking about networking activities. So how do we connect the people at the conference together with one another? So what kinds of activities have you fostered successfully in the past? Would you like to see happen within the context of SRI? These are the types of contributions that are out there and that are open for you to think about. But I would really invite everybody to think about this in the most collaborative and imaginative way possible, so that we can really have an engaged conference, because it's way more fun when we're not just listening to one another, but we're actually interacting, we're playing together, we're creating games and opportunities. So please do put on your thinking caps, think outside the box, most imaginative possible, and contribute to what promises to be an amazing event with some amazing and wonderful partners. So with that, I will hand back over to, I think, Vera, or maybe Erica. No, Erica. Go ahead, Erica.
Thanks, Nicole. So I hope that what we've shared with you, and you'll read online under those themes, they're really inspiration points. We can't possibly cover the breadth of everything that could come under those different umbrellas. So I see some questions about the inclusion of Earth observation technologies. Yes, please bring it. Think of how you connect with these concepts and with sustainability. Innovation is an area that we will very strongly emphasize in this Congress. It is not only in one of the themes, but it's also in this idea market concept that will be launched, where individuals can bring forth their sustainability ideas and share them with a global audience. And there is a prize associated with that event. So please stay tuned and look for those details once they're posted. The idea here is really to think about, what do we need to achieve these transformations? And it's really not something that can be done alone. So we're looking for these collaborative sessions, these sharing of ideas across, connecting with stakeholders, connecting with other organizations, connecting public sector and private sector funding, connecting local government with intergovernmental frameworks, connecting natural scientists, social scientists, engineers, lawyers, business, et cetera, together, so that we can build a joint language and a more common understanding of what we each mean when we say sustainability. So your contributions, please submit them by November 30th at sricongress.org. They will go through a program committee review that will look at how the proposed contribution, whether it is a roundtable, which should be an interactive event, but please be creative and think about what that means to you. The workshops and tutorials, as Nicole mentioned, it's really about skill building, but it can also be about sharing an idea, a pathway for sustainability or for transformation. Please try to engage with diverse perspectives. We would like to hear from underserved communities. We wish to follow on from the PCLIS declaration from the Panama Congress and engage strongly with Indigenous peoples. And we would like to understand how your contribution may impact others. So think beyond just, coming to the Congress and doing your event for an hour, but where's that event going to take you? What could it possibly produce? Is it a paper? Is it a collaborative idea, a funding proposal, a policy brief or something more? So include all of that in your submission, and that will go through a program committee review. And then we will start communicating and putting together that program so that we can see you all in Finland and Durban this coming May and June. Vera, back to you.
Thank you so much, Erica and Nicole. That was very informative, and now we can move to the Q&A. Please use the Q&A box that's in the toolbar on Zoom for questions. There are 2 questions. The first one is for Michael about the difference between the main event and the satellite event. So Michael, please.
That's a very good question. The first reason is it's a simple one, just to create a hype around the main event, SRI event, which will be taking place in Finland. We learned from the previous event that some people did not even know about the main event where it's taking place. After the satellite event, they get so interested, they want even to buy some tickets. So that's one of the reasons. The second one, which is also big as well, is to showcase sustainability initiatives happening in Africa. So we follow the same themes, but we would like them to focus slightly on what has been achieved on the continent. So, and we also invite those, so we're not limiting it to African participants. You could come from wherever, like in the last event from UK, as long as you want to engage and have an audience with the African participants, you'll be more than welcome. And lastly, I wanted to say lastly, we're hoping that many people will also join us for the plenaries, which are mainly focused on issues and challenges that are in this part of the world. And that's one of the big reasons why we had big support coming from other countries to say, look, we can work together to assist you in dealing with the challenges that are taking place on the continent. Thanks, Vera.
Thank you very much, Michael. There is a question about is there a way to find out which SRI interested folks have similar synergistic ideas for us to collaborate with on a session? Who would like to take this question? Erica, go ahead.
So we do have a member portal for Future Earth with an SRI group that includes persons who've attended past SRIs. And it's an opportunity for you to connect and talk about your potential contributions, events you would like to plan, meet up with others and learn from their experiences. So if you go to futureearth.org and you click on Become a Member, it'll take you to the member portal, and you're able to utilize that space to co-create sessions together. I think also this LinkedIn platform that we're using today and the SRI page there is another great opportunity to have more of a public engagement with one another to find some of those collaborators for your contribution proposals. Those are just 2 ideas I can think of. There might be more.
That's great. Thank you. And also what we do, if we have several submissions that are quite similar, we might merge them. So after the submission, if your proposal will be accepted for the Congress, you might get an email from us saying, hey, we did receive a similar submission. Would you be interested in collaborating with this other group? We've done that in the past, and it has usually resulted in quite positive and interesting sessions and new collaborations. Susanna.
Yeah, I just wanted to second all the points raised here, because we have also noticed with SSD that sometimes people are looking for collaborations. So it's very handy if you can do it beforehand, if you are looking for partnering with, or just checking out if people have similar mindsets in proposing a session. And then also we have done that the same that Vera suggested here, that once we notice that there are relatively similar ideas as seen by the evaluation panel's eyes, then we may suggest merging sessions, but it might be easier to do that beforehand. So I would encourage you to run these discussions as much as possible beforehand, because at the point when people have like semi-fixed ideas, it might be harder to really merge the ideas. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Susanna. Riina.
Yeah, of course, seconding everything that has been already said, but maybe just to add an idea, we also have the LinkedIn page for the next year's Congress. So discussion about the next year's event and ideas related to that could also be kind of done in that space as well. And of course, we all have our own networks. So I'm just encouraging everyone to use their own networks and kind of pitching the idea of doing something together next year.
Thank you, Riina. Plenty of opportunities, which is great. I see that our panelists are also answering the questions by writing. So if you have a question asked, your question might have already been answered by the panelists. So please check the Q&A box. There is a question about the possibility to submit individual abstracts. I can just quickly respond to that one. So for this call for contributions is basically a call for something like sessions. So not for individual papers. However, we will have the idea market that was mentioned by Erica earlier. It will be opened later, and that is an opportunity for individuals to submit individual ideas and innovations. So it's not the typical research paper that you would submit, but you don't need to have a group or a panel set up by the time of the submission. Actually, not at all, since it's an individual contribution. The next is how many people can be in a roundtable and how many minutes for the session. Who would like to take that one? No.
I can try from our experience.
Yes. Yes, Michael, go ahead.
So the roundtable discussion tables for the satellite event last for 90 minutes. How many people depends on the venue and the interest. Most of these could be indicated in advance, but if we see that there is a huge interest in a particular topic, we do opt to have a bigger venue than smaller rooms.
Thank you, Michael. And this is for the satellite event. So for the Central Congress, there is actually in the call text, we do have that specified. So it depends on the session contribution type. So I encourage everyone to read very carefully the instructions for submissions before you submit. And there we have actually a maximum number of speakers and a minimum number of speakers specified. And it does depend on the session type. But thank you, Michael, for answering that for the satellite event. So there are some differences between the main Congress and the satellite event. There is a question about scholarships. Oh, Riina, you have a hand up. Was it this question?
Yes, actually just wanted to kind of say out loud the minutes that you were referring to. So for example, to the interactive roundtables, the maximum number of minutes, it's 90 minutes, but then for the workshops and tutorials, it's 2 hours, and then the networking activities, it's 60 minutes. So just saying those out loud, but they can be found in the criteria document.
Thank you so much, Riina. That's really helpful. Yeah, I didn't remember it, so I would have had to look at the document as well. Thank you so much. There was a question about scholarship. Was it answered? It was answered. Okay. I will try to just, there's so many questions that I try to focus on the ones that have not been answered by panelists. But Nicole, do you have something to this previous question?
I was just going to say I did answer it, and it's really but it's a good thing to say out loud as well, which is that in the past we have luckily we have been very successful at getting scholarships for students and for LMICs. So we are cautiously optimistic, but optimistic that we will get some for this year as well. So this comes through our sponsorship package, which you are I put it in the answered section. So if you happen to know someone who would love to sponsor students, we want to know about them, because the more students, the more people from LMICs that we can get on the ground or virtually who can participate. The conference is richer when we're all coming from different parts of the globe. So we'd love to hear any thoughts and suggestions you might have to that end as well.
Thank you, Nicole. Yeah, absolutely. All support for scholarships is more than welcome, because we do want to be an inclusive and accessible event. There is a question about open access events. So if one is interested to organize an open access event, what are the qualifications of being a non-profit organization? I can start answering, and if any one of the panelists wants to add, please let me know. So usually our events are not open access. We do the plenary is open access, and then we have an open day in the middle of the Congress that is fully open access. But otherwise, you would have to register for SRI to attend your event. You can sponsor an event. So sponsored events and sessions can be made open access. Is everybody happy with the answer? Nothing to add? Okay. The next question is financials involved. There's a question, how can I join with other colleagues to propose a workshop or tutorials? I wish to propose on the second team. And should you elaborate about the financials involved? So it's the conference registrations that is needed there. If you submit through the call for contributions, and your session will be accepted to the program. Does anyone from the panelists, do you want to add to this one? Nicole?
Yeah, so just quickly, it's the things to think about when you are proposing a session, especially involving the financials. So how many people are going to be present in person, making sure that they have the necessary resources involved to arrive in person, and also thinking about, so flights, accommodations, the cost of subsistence. So these are the kinds of, and of course the registration, all of which the information for the registration is available online. So these are the things, as Vera mentioned, that you'll want to think about.
Thank you, Nicole. There is a question. Oh, Erica, go first. Yeah.
I just kind of want to leapfrog off of what Nicole was saying earlier and point out that we do encourage early career participation in the event strongly, both during the open day and throughout the program, and hope that these session types will speak to that. That's based off of past congresses and an express need for perhaps mentoring workshops and tutorials, proposal writing, networking with other early career researchers, having their own networking events, and connecting with government representatives. So we are looking at early career associations and other partners and sponsors who might be able to ease the access of early career researchers and a wider public, the boundary spanners that some early career researchers are becoming, to be part of the SRI. So it's always trying to enable access.
Absolutely. Thank you. There is a question to Michael about how to communicate SRI to others, especially in Africa. Michael, do you want to take that one?
Yes, I will take that one. So we do have networks that we use. We use social media, we use websites that are around. we know our networks cannot be enough, so we also rely on individuals to forward the messages so that we can reach as many people as possible. As we're building up the Africa Hub, we also have extended databases that we putting together, work with universities. We're hoping this year, I mean, the satellite event for this year attracted almost 300 people. We already have a feel that it will go beyond it. We prepared to take up to 400 people, so there will be quite a lot of people interested in it. Thanks.
Thank you. I don't see more questions in the Q&A. Is there anything else from the audience? No? Well, as I mentioned earlier, you can always email us at sri@futureearth.org, and we'll get back to you with answers. And of course, we're also hoping to see all of you in Helsinki and Espoo, Finland, next June. And here, thank you, Kyoko. There is information, this email address that was mentioned. You can also subscribe to our newsletter. That's a great way of staying updated on the Congress. And then you can also follow us on social media. There'll be more announcements coming, some scholarship opportunities. Also, the Idea Market call will be opened, and certainly the registration opening will be announced in a couple of months as well. So stay tuned. And I think we can close this webinar. So thank you so much for your interest in SRI SSD 2024. And see you in June. Thank you. Bye-bye.